So, hey guys, Gemma from ASD Rocks and Bo, the superstar of the show. Hey Bo, I have been asked a lot recently. In fact, even someone asked me today, what is Stim running? Like, they don't understand what I mean when I say Stim running. So what is it?
Well, I just basically have a run around.
Yeah?
Yeah. I just don't. Well, I'll put it like this: like my brain goes into autopilot, and whenever I listen to music that I feel like I should listen to, my brain just enters autopilot mode and I just run.
Yeah, okay. When you say you run, are you aware that you're running?
Maybe it's like a me
You can say I don't know.
I don't know.
You don't know. Are you aware of how much time you're running for? Do you know how much time has passed?
No.
We do know that sometimes you're not exactly aware of where the wall is, don't we? We have gone through a wall or two. I explained it today to someone, and I'd like you to tell me if I'm kind of right or not. Because you said just then that when you... So you've got your phone with you most of the time when you're doing it, don't you? And what are you looking at? Are they YouTube music videos, or what is it you usually...
Yeah, it's pretty much just music on YouTube.
Yeah, which like special music or generic top 40 pop music?
It's just generic music. It's like very specific music.
Is there a name for it? For that type of music?
No. Well, I mean, it's like I just listen to... It's mostly video game music.
Like background video game music, because it does sound, sometimes I can hear, and it's very... Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is like, yeah, that makes so much sense. So it's not like the sort of stuff you would see that has a video clip starring Rihanna or... What's a person that you know, a music person that you would know? It's not like Queen that you're listening to, or Amber, right?
No, not Amber, ABBA.
Oh, ABBA. Sorry, I don't know music very well at all. ABBA. I'm sure there's some sort of star out there called Amber. Whoa! Hear the rain.
Yeah, it just started.
Spring. Warm days and rainy. So, because you're sweating, I can see you're sweating, like you're glistening. So you've been running now. What do you see? What do you see? Are you looking through your eyes, or are you?
It's kind of like a half-ish, like yes and no. Like I'm mostly in my imagination when I do it, but then again, I'm not running into walls. I'm pretty much bouncing off them.
You do. I
do have some consciousness about where I'm going.
Okay. And so you don't know how much time passes. You do... Sorry for that interruption. We just got... someone just called through while I was doing this. So the music that you're listening to is the background music to like video games and things like that are made. And I said to someone that it was a little bit like if you think right now of your favorite scene in a movie, see how you're looking in your head and not what's around you. You kind of... Is that what it's like when you're stim running?
Yeah.
Yeah. So but it goes on potentially for like hours.
I guess.
Yeah, because you're doing 15K a day according to your Fitbit. So, and that's all mostly after school. So it's going on for like continuous amounts of time. So it's a little bit like, so when the music stops or the YouTube video changes, does the vision go away? And then because I often see you looking for the right music or whatever in between, like you'll slow down, you'll speed up your running and do your running, and then you'll sort of slow down, and you keep moving, but
I'm honestly not too sure about that. I guess the whatever's playing in my head, I guess the thing that's controlling that is put on pause. I guess that's the best way I can put it.
Whatever's controlling
what I can hear in my imagination is put on pause.
Okay, yeah, all right, and then you find a new thing, and then yeah. And when you say you're seeing things, are you seeing the video game, or do you know what you're seeing?
It's mostly just random stuff. Just probably what I'm content on seeing.
Yeah, but like stuff that you have seen before or stuff that you're making up?
Both, really.
And related to video games or real life things? Like, would you ever see...
It isn't just limited to video games, really. It expands on much more, I'd say.
Would you ever be thinking about like what happened at school that day or anything like that?
I guess not really.
It's more stuff you've seen on screen, isn't it?
Yeah.
Over the last 17 years of your life. So it's not that you're processing what went on during the day or anything. It's kind of a little bit like time out for you, isn't it? It's a bit of your happy place.
Yeah, when you put it like that, sort of, yeah.
Like, you know how sometimes you come home and you've just been at gym or something, and then we've got something to happen, or you just come home from school, and then we've got Jenny, and you're like, I just need some time to chill out. And your chill out turns out to be Stim running.
Yeah,
that's you.
Not even I know how that works.
But that's your happy place. That's what I'm saying. That's you chilling out. You chilling out is the equivalent, I mean, for me, of exercise. But for you, your chill out is to be able to let your brain go.
Yeah.
Not concentrate on something that needs to be done, like how to speak, how to...
I guess.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And what we have also noticed though is that when you are doing your Stim running, one thing you're not aware of is the physical feelings that you might be going through. For example, the tearing of your skin. You didn't even know that was happening, did you? Under your toes. Like, it wasn't until I looked under there one day I got a bit of a fright. So your pain threshold or your feeling isn't as... It's like...
Well, it's the sensitivity reduced, because obviously if I ran face first into a wall, that hurts.
Can you do that? I'd like to see that. Oh my God. Instead of a knee print, we'd have a face print. No, Your Honor, I don't have my son's fingerprints, but this is what his face looks like.
Yeah, I was going to link that to police somehow. It's like, have you seen this man?
That's probably how they did it in like the super olden days.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Like, instead of like, in wanted posters.
Wait, but that would mean they put his face through the culprit's face on the wall, and they go, all right, you're good to go.
Just roll his face in like ink and then put it on a wanted poster.
And then they just go, all right, you're good to go.
Or before they'd made paper, do it on a stone. Just chuck a stone at your face and then this is the man we're looking for.
But not only that, but if the face is screwed up enough, they go, oh, Billy, report that man. He's probably done something. He's committed a crime. How you could tell his face is all bloody.
Mushed up, bloody. Yeah, totally. So your pain threshold, or at least your body, like, what you, and you don't get tired either. Like, your body starts sweating pretty hardcore, but you don't really notice it, do you, until you stop.
Yeah.
And then you stop and you sort of go, oh, I'm really sweaty. It's like you've come in and said, I'm just going to have a shower.
Yeah.
And it's like 4:30, or on a weekend it's like 2:30, and you're like, you've been running already for a few hours, and you're just like, you stop and you go, oh my God, everything's wet. Is that what it's like, or are you aware that you're getting wetter with sweat as it goes? Because you're not tired. You don't get tired.
Yeah, I'm not aware while I'm running, but the moment I stop, I just feel like I'm drenched.
Yeah, and you look drenched too, which is probably, ever since we got the new orthotics, because you got those little bumps on your feet, didn't you? We had to go to the
podiatrist.
Podiatrist. What did she do?
She put some sheep's wool at the back of my shoe.
Okay, and what's that meant to fix? How is that?
It's meant to fix the holes in my shoe.
So you actually
it's meant to like reduce friction in the shoe between my ankle and the shoe.
Okay, so the rubbing was causing like bone spurs, basically. And so she's put an insert to stop that rubbing.
Yeah.
To stop the friction.
Yeah, I believe so.
Except you never came to me and said, hey, look at these bumps on my feet, did you? You didn't know until I went, what the?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's exactly the same again as the tearing under on the balls of your feet, between the toes and the balls of your feet. You're not aware of the damage that you're doing to your body at all. Like, you're not coming to me going, oh, I've got bone spurs, it really hurts, or I've got blisters or anything like that. You never complain about any pain. And then when you come out of it, it's kind of like being in a dream maybe, or waking up into like daydreaming, and you're still awake, but you're daydreaming.
Yeah, that's probably exactly what it is.
It's a good way of explaining it, like daydreaming. Like if you're sitting at the desk and someone goes, hey, and you go, ah, and you realize like you've had a whole thing going on in here, like watching something, literally watching something, and all the other noise in the house, does that become like white noise, really? You don't notice.
Yeah, probably.
But you always hear when I call your name, don't you?
Yeah.
You're sort of really quite attuned to your name. All right. Thank you.
No problem.
I think that will be incredibly helpful for people. When they ask what is stim running, or maybe for people to understand, because stim running isn't the only kind of stimming, is it? There's stim jumping, which or stim jumping and hopping.
Yeah, that's probably more common in people with autism, I'd say.
What
like
makes
stim jumping? Because like when I saw Max do it, which was like a person I used to see with it back in my primary school, who probably had severe autism. I don't know the right way to word it. And I noticed that he would sometimes he would jump up and down like while stimming his hands like this.
Yeah, you do that every time we put on how the planet Earth was made. you stim jump and hop. Did you know that?
Yeah, I probably notice it more when I'm in a really tense moment of a video game.
Okay, watching a tense mode, because you don't play you don't play video games as such. So it's more when you're watching when you're watching someone else play a very tense moment.
Yeah.
And that's it's almost like
we managed to, and by the skin of the player's teeth, they managed to make it, and I'm just, the adrenaline's probably rushing through me, so that's probably what's causing it.
It's 100%, except the difference between what we call neurotypical and, so there has been a scientific connection made between flapping, stimming, jump, stimming, in fact most stimming and emotion, right? So if you've ever seen, have you ever seen like Miss America come out and she's like, oh, thank you everyone, she doesn't want to cry and she flaps her, she's like, you know, have you ever seen someone do that?
I think I've seen someone do that.
In beauty pageants they come out and they're like, oh!
Yeah.
That they did a science, they did research into this action, and what they found was that in times of peak emotion, whether it be happy emotion,
sadness,
or just like adrenaline, like what's going to happen, they found that waving your hands, flapping your hands, would switch the brain's function from emotional to physical, and it would reduce the amount of adrenaline going in to the brain, and that it would dispense that. So do you remember when we used to, for example, go to get our manicures and our pedicures, and when they did one thing, there was one time where you had to like, they'd do it on your feet, like file, I think, your toenails, and you'd always go like this to get, just to get because it distracts the brain.
Yeah.
It completely distracts the brain. So I think for you, stim running is your relaxation, whereas stim jumping is a reaction to stimulus.
Yeah.
So stimming can have different causes and different reasons and different results. So you can have different stims for different circumstances.
I guess.
So like, because you don't ever just stand in the middle of the room with your music and just stim jump or flap. You never do that. You only do your stim running, whereas you're talking about like in the making of the earth and in really tense times.
Sorry, it's just my
back's
was sitting
so
long.
Yeah, that's okay. We're finishing up now. But it's actually super, super interesting what you've been saying, and so helpful to people when they can understand what's going on inside of here, especially for kids who are non-verbal, buddy, who can't say, like the ones that can't say. That's why ASD Rocks is so important. That's why you are such a major piece of the puzzle with ASD Rocks, because I can help the parents and the brothers and the sisters, but only you can really tell it how it is from your point of view. And and the fact that you are so eloquent, you're so verbal, you're so, the way, it's not easy for you to put together all these sentences. And you'd prefer not to most of the time, wouldn't you?
Hang on, I think I need that said again.
If you had a choice, talking would not be your first choice, right?
What would be the second choice?
Like just doing your own thing.
Yes, yeah.
Like if you had a choice, do you want to hang out with someone, sit down and have a coffee and a chat, or do you want to stay home on your own?
Yeah, I guess you can say that.
Yeah, like it's easier for you. You prefer to be in your own company, then, like, I think for you, it's hard work having a chat with someone, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's quite hard work working out what you should and shouldn't say and how to. Do you sometimes feel like you've got the sentence here, but it just doesn't come out here?
Well, if another way of saying it is like you know the word for sure, but you can't just find out what it is. Like, you've forgotten the word.
Yeah.
You're just trying to find it. If you're basically saying, do I ever get that feeling? Then yeah. But if you're talking about completely something different, then I might not know what exactly what you mean.
Just, yeah. So, do you feel like you forget words a lot?
I guess it happens every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not that common, but it's not that rare either.
Yeah. No, you are such an inspiration, seriously, to me, to everyone. I just I just can't wait to see who you turn out to be as an adult, a young adult. You're just turning into the most incredible human being. You both are, and I'm in awe, and it's really, really excited to see where you go. Mwah! Thank you so much.
No problem.